Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a really interesting set of sources. They're all pointing towards something called the systemic convergence hypothesis.
Right. It's this idea that you're seeing these huge connected shifts in government, in technology, even in what we consider real.
And our goal here, our mission, is to figure out, is this some kind of deliberate, coordinated plan? Big restructuring?
Or is it more of an emergent thing? The system just adapting, maybe a bit chaotically, to this crazy level of global complexity we're facing now?
So let's start with a core driver you mentioned in the prep, this acceleration of perceived reality.
Yeah, it's a useful metric. And it really hinges on AI capability. Think about it. The length of tasks that autonomous AI agents can complete, well, that's doubling roughly every 7 months right now.
7 months?
Yeah, and that kind of speed, that velocity, it just crushes the timeline for strategic surprise. Things change faster than anyone can really plan for in the old ways.
Okay, so how are governments reacting? Because the sources seem to show this weird split.
Duality is a good word for it.
On one side, you've got what they call strategic hardening.
Yeah.
Pouring resources into AI, high-performance computing.
Locking down the critical tech sectors. Absolutely.
But then at the same time, you see what's termed engineered fragility in, the day-to-day political stuff. Gridlock, constant budget fights, shutdowns. It feels contradictory.
It does on the surface.
Yeah.
But if you look a bit deeper, that gridlock, that fragility, it almost functions like a weird kind of filter, a resource filter.
How so? Shutdowns seem purely destructive. You lose expertise, data collection stops.
Totally. Civil science capacity, conservation efforts, institutional knowledge, it gets degraded, no question. But think about what doesn't get cut or what gets implicitly shielded.
Core national security, defense R&D, AI development.
Exactly. Those seem to be protected. So the argument goes, this engineered fragility isn't just a bug. It might actually be a feature channeling resources, maybe unintentionally, towards that strategic core.
Okay, that reframing leads us straight to the tech piece, this computational imperative.
Right. Because underpinning a lot of this strategic hardening is the need for just astronomical amounts of computing power.
The NASA example was pretty stark. The Science Mission Directorate, SMD.
Yeah, for the kind of AI and machine learning they want to do, they estimate they need something like 5,000 to 10,000 times more compute than they currently have.
Tough, hard to even picture.
It's a massive gap. And facing that kind of demand, especially with geopolitical competition breathing down your neck, it forces a radical overhaul.
So consolidation.
Mandatory consolidation into a single, unified, interoperable system, hybrid cloud, high-end computing HEC, getting rid of all the redundant separate environments. It's pure strategic hardening of the nation's computational backbone.
And this is where it ties into the stranger stuff, the epistemic shift.
You got it. Because all this speed, all this pressure, this technological velocity, it dramatically increases the risk of surprise. Not just geopolitical surprise, but technical surprise even. Well, reality itself seeming to glitch.
Which is where ARO comes in, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office.
Precisely. Setting up ARO is basically the government trying to get a handle on that risk. Integrating the study of UAP's unidentified anomalous phenomena right into the national security structure.
It's about managing ambiguity, making the unknown known.
Or at least manageable. They're stressing rigor scientific method, intelligence tradecraft, good data, modeling, trying to resolve anomalies systematically.
Like that South Asia object case you mentioned, where this weird atmospheric wake in a video.
Turned out to be a video compression artifact after careful analysis.
Exactly.
It's an attempt to minimize surprise by normalizing the weird, subjecting it to process, taking back control over the definition of what's real.
Okay, let's pull it all together then, synthesize this.
So you see the loop, right? Geopolitical pressure speeds up AI development,
Which demands massive computational hardening.
which in turn increases the potential for radical unexpected events or discoveries.
Leading to the need for something like ARRO to manage that weirdness.
Yeah, and when you look at that whole feedback system, it feels less like a single top-down conspiracy.
And more like a really high-stakes, somewhat messy, emergent adaptation to unprecedented conditions.
That's how the evidence seems to point, yeah.
So for you listening, what's the big analytical trap here?
Well, the huge risk is something called apophenia, and relatedly, confirmation bias.
Apophenia. Seeing patterns where there aren't any.
Basically, yes. Seeing meaningful connections between unrelated things. When you're faced with this level of non-linear complexity, it's tempting to try and force it into a simple story. a secret cabal, a grand unified plot.
Instead of grappling with the adaptive chaos of it all.
Exactly. It's imposing a simple narrative onto radical complexity.
So the final takeaway here seems to be that this convergence is actively updating our definition of known reality and doing it faster and faster.
Exponentially faster. And the sources really highlight that dual structure we talked about. You've got this increasing capability, integration, hardening in the strategic technical core.
While at the same time, maybe because of that focus, you see increasing volatility, maybe even erosion of trust in the more public-facing civil parts of the system.
Right. Which leads to the final question we wanted to leave you with. Can a nation actually sustain that kind of long-term strategic strength if its internal social cohesion, its non-strategic institutions, are being weakened, perhaps deliberately, by this engineered fragility?
Something to think about.